You ready, fam?
So.
2-0. Alec Bohm singles, shallow left field.
Yo, how awesome is the Apple thing?
It's the
Because it's
best.
the Apple Sports.
Yeah, it honestly is the best.
It's the only way I keep track of sports now.
Yeah, the cool thing is, like during the day, if there's a game on, like a Phillies game, and it just buzzes you for updates, which is awesome because like I don't want to have to. It's not distracting.
No.
It's just like, because I don't look at my phone a crazy amount, so if I do go to look at my phone, I get the quick update. It's awesome.
It's better than when you looked it up on Google
It was
every
a game
time.
changer. I'm still.
You were nice at that, though. I gotta give you credit, dude.
I'm still.
You were quick with it. No one's quick with
Sports-
Google searching sports scores.
I'm all over the Google.
All over it, dude.
And I'm pretty good at it. I still do it because I like to follow. Like, I'll just type in NHL because the playoffs are on, and just go through the scores.
You do get the stats all right.
I know they're pretty good with it. My only thing about the Apple is if you're watching the game, it's faster, so you got to dismiss it.
That is a problem.
You got to dismiss it.
That is a problem.
Like, usually I forget.
Because we stream every game now.
And usually I forget. So it'll buzz. I'll look down and it'll be like, Bryce Harper home run. I'm like, fuck. And then I look up. 2 pitches later, home run. I'm like, it's like literally, it's quick.
Just use it to bet with a friend. Yo, bet you Bryce.
Yeah, I know.
Yo, that'd be a good one.
I know.
You gotta be quick with it, though. And convincing.
And then he'll be like, dude, you've been spot on all day. Be like, bet you Bryce Harper hits the foul pole. Bang.
You thirsty?
Thirsty?
Yeah.
No, I gotta pee, actually. Why?
Well, you're gonna hold it.
Yeah, I know. Why'd you
You
ask?
planned on holding it the whole time?
Yeah. What am I gonna do?
No, it was just a good segue.
I actually heard that if you hold it, it could, now this could be a myth, it could affect your ability to have kids.
Have you ever seen Cool Runnings?
Yeah.
Hold
All
it.
right.
Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. But I gotta go. You haven't seen Cool Runnings.
Not in a while.
Sanka Coffee when he's sitting in the bobsled. He's gotta pee. Coach, I gotta go. Go.
R.I.P. to Coach. He was the best.
Yeah, he is. No, my question of are you thirsty was a segue.
Oh, because we're doing hydration. That makes sense.
Well, we got some kind of hydration here.
You want to cheers it?
Yeah, sure. What you got?
What's the go-to order?
We got the same thing.
Iced coffee, cinnamon powder.
He sends me a voice memo. Cinnamon?
No, with the lisp. Cinnamon.
Did you? I didn't hear that part of it.
Cinnamon.
Nah, that's on me.
You know what's the worst
I
thing
said
about...
no question.
You know what's the best and worst thing about the voice memos with Apple now? They tell you what it says under it.
Yeah, there's a transcript.
So, like, it's the best thing because sometimes you don't want to listen to it. It's the worst thing because you don't listen to it. It takes the emotion out of it.
If I ever find out that you don't listen to one of my voice memos, there's going to be a problem.
You know who sends Chris Angelillo sends voice memos? And...
Shout out.
Shout out. And first off, he's the funniest human being ever.
Dude.
But, like, sometimes he's a little edgy, so you can't listen to
That's
him.
why he's funny.
Yeah. So you can't listen to him out loud, so it gives me the transcript. So I read the transcript, I giggle, I hold it, listen to it later.
Then you LOL.
I'm on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it.
Go ahead.
I wanted to do hydration. I think it was something in our notes, but the reason I wanted to do it was... let's just be honest. You've been clowning me for my hydration for a while.
You've been pissing me off.
For a while now. How long? Maybe 2 years? At least.
Well,
a year and a half?
Yeah,
consistently?
but like...
It's been worse in the
as
past
of
couple
recently,
months.
it's been pretty
It's been
persistent.
bad. Yeah. And it's all centered around electrolytes. I don't take them. Allegedly, they're a game changer. I've heard not only from you, I've heard from multiple people. You should be taking electrolytes day in and day out. And I listen, and I'm like, yeah, I'm in, and I don't do it.
Why?
We mention it every episode. I got problems, and this is one of them. The go to the online and order them is an absolute problem for me. It just is. It's an excuse. It's a problem. I forget. Someone has them. I'm like, I should be taking them. Let me go online and order them. I don't do it. I got problems.
You add them to the bag and it just stays there?
It never added them
They're
to
still
the
in the bag. There's like 5 of them in the
It's
bag.
the BPN, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know exactly it is. I want lemon lime. I know the flavor because I've tried it.
The wild thing is they're on Amazon and I'll literally get here the next day.
I'm an impatient guy in an impatient society.
Which doesn't make sense because if you ordered it the 3 months that I recommended, it would have been, obviously be.
Yeah, you think that's how a logical person would think. But think about this. What if you're not logical?
So you still getting those eye twitches?
Yeah, I still get the eye twitches. You think it stems from it?
I do.
Yeah, so let's preface where this came back to. I've asked him multiple times what supplement should I be taking, and the number one, maybe not the number one, but day in and day out he says you should be taking electrolytes. Then I come to him maybe about 6 months later, my eye's twitching. I'm like freaking out. I'm like, Aunt, I gotta talk to you. You're like, what's up? I was like, I have this eye twitch. Like, my eye will literally flutter. I'm like, can you see it? You're like, no, I can't see it, but I know what you're talking about because you had it, didn't you?
After you brought it up, dude, that's the wild part.
It's scary.
So I've had it in the past, but then you brought it up and you mentioned it, and it's a wild because we're gonna get into why it was happening too. This will be the whole episode, but it was literally happening like after like a crazy workout or like when I needed electrolytes the most. It started twitching, and I was like, "Why is this now happening?" After Carson mentioned it,
So I was like, dude, I'm freaking out, and you're like, you've been taking the electrolytes, no? I'm like, nah, I never ordered them. You're like, are you? You almost wanted to fight me. It was in Amy's office. You almost wanted to fight me. You were like,
I remember that.
What's your problem, dude? Like, you ask me questions, and then you just don't like. I told you the answer. You can walk the horse to water, but you can't make him drink it.
Unless you give him a salt tab.
Which we're also going to talk about.
Then he'll get thirsty.
Yeah. All right, talk to me about electrolytes. Why should I be taking them?
So wait, I want to preface, though. Because we're going to talk electrolytes, but the episode's hydration.
Yes, it is.
And people don't connect this. When you think of hydration, you think of?
Water.
Water. The missing piece to hydration is electrolytes. But electrolytes are hydration. So, yeah, let's jump into it because I think quite simply, the easiest way to start this thing is, everyone knows the importance of water.
We can say, it. You've heard it 100 times. 90% of people out there, you don't drink enough water.
Yeah.
You don't.
General recommendation of water is drink more than you're currently drinking. But honestly, it's 1 ounce per pound of body weight. That's how much, at a minimum, I would say people should be drinking.
What's 165 ounces?
Gallons 120, so about a gallon and a half.
Yeah, I'm not drinking a gallon
Yeah,
a day. I can tell you for a fact I'm not.
Yeah, you're missing out. So
I might drink a gallon of club soda a day though.
Yeah, but it's still water.
Yeah, obviously I'm not drinking a gallon, but I can tell you for a fact that these girls in their water bottles, they might be drinking their water.
I would hope. They're
No, like good for them.
Yeah.
I don't drink enough water.
No,
I can tell you that.
Yeah, because you really gotta be
water,
consistent. Like
water.
So my only thing that I want to touch on with water, because obviously the recommendations and like people know how important water is.
Yeah.
Is you gotta start early. It's the only way. Like my morning routine. We mentioned in the morning routine episode. The first thing that I do as soon as I get up is I chug the 20 ounces of water that is sitting by my bedside.
Get the head start.
Literally, that's the only reason. One, it makes me feel so good to start the day with water, but you get 20 ounces right there. My goal is 150 ounces. Like, I'm already well on my way. I'll probably have like 60 ounces before 9 a.m.
That's great.
But also because of the morning workout.
Right.
So when it comes to hydration, the most important thing is to go through electrolytes. Water, we all know it. We gotta drink more water.
You know what's my problem too lately? I don't drink water during my workouts anymore.
Dude, it's just cheat code to get more in.
I know.
Cheat code. I'll go through I'll fill up my water bottle twice during a workout.
Yeah, I never.
And honestly, sometimes just to. It helps with the workout, of course, but just to get more water in.
Yeah, I never drink it during.
And
the
then
workout.
another little piece of advice too with water is just try to front load it early in the day, because later at night you want to try to kind of deload the amount that you're having, so you don't pee 10 times at night. I'm saying this
cannot-
from personal experience.
I can double down on that personal experience. I can't have a glass of water, an hour before bed. If
Yeah.
I drink a glass of water within the hour before bed, I'm peeing in the middle of the night.
And also,
it's I feel like an old man. I like literally. It's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a real problem.
yeah, I went through a period where it's kind of like you got to pick your battle. Like getting enough water in versus peeing a lot, affecting sleep. So like that's why I just try to front load it.
You got to. I will. What's the most miserable thing than having to roll out of a deep sleep to go pee? Because you know what you do or I do, and I'm sure other people do it. Not only do you have to pee in the middle of the night, but you sit there in bed for 5 minutes, debate whether you want to actually get up and take that.
See, it's funny because it's like clockwork to me. Like I'm a zombie. I don't even like. I remember getting up to go to bed, but it's like I'm up, I go right back to sleep.
I sit there and I'm like in and out of sleep, but you debate it. You're like, nah,
Yeah,
I can,
true.
nah, I can,
hold
I
it.
can last a couple more hours.
That'll happen to me if it's like if I'll usually get up at like 6:30. If it's like 6 a.m., that's the worst. When you have to get
It's
up to
bad.
pee, then I'm like,
I'm up.
I'm up.
Yeah.
So that's the extent of water that I want to talk about. Drink more water. Electrolytes, the missing piece of hydration for so many people. Now,
I gotta pee right now.
I got a big preface to make with electrolytes. When we're talking about electrolytes, we're talking about sodium. There's many different electrolytes that I'm not going to mention. But the big three are sodium, potassium, and magnesium. Okay? With electrolytes, dude, I mentioned sodium, the scare of sodium, right? Everyone's worried about their sodium. I got to be careful of when I give advice about electrolytes.
Sodium salt.
Yeah, great. I love that you have that. When I talk about electrolytes, I got to be careful about who I'm talking to.
Can always rely on me for a stupid question.
No, that was actually great. Cause
I know.
I kind of just assumed, but it's not a good assumption.
Sodium salt.
I got to be careful because if you are eating the typical American diet of processed and ultra processed and eating out, you are going to be consuming way too much sodium. Salt.
And I think a lot of people know that the American, like, okay, they know that, but they don't know that.
Right.
And I mean this in the sense that they don't realize that they're taking in so much sodium. They don't realize that they're taking in so much salt, and it's too much salt.
Mm-hmm.
I think on the same scale, they have also been taught that to be scared of salt.
100%.
And I mean this in the sense that if you start to make that transition to get away from processed foods and get away from the typical diet, you're probably, which was me, you're scared of salt. You've been told your whole
100%.
life salt is bad.
That's everyone listening.
And it is if you're doing that. But if you've told me, dude, you're not getting enough salt. And I'm like, what? What are you talking
How?
about? Yeah, I literally was like, good. I said back, like so I was on that. You said, you're not getting in enough salt. And I was like, that's perfect. And you're like, no, it's not. Salt is good if you're using it the proper way.
So this is the takeaway
Whoa.
that I'm very. Is that me?
Yeah, you gotta love.
I don't know how. For what?
I don't know.
My phone's on silent. I don't know
Maybe it was mine.
how. So this is gonna be so important because we're gonna break down who should be taking electrolytes because there's different categories. We just touched on nutrition and exercise comes into it. But yes, dude, and there is a reason that the American culture is scared of salt, and that's because of the processed and ultra processed food. Like, absolutely, if that's the majority of your diet, you do have to be aware of your salt intake.
So we talked about it last episode or 2 episodes ago when we were talking about food in the supermarkets. The sodium is so high because they use salt as a preservative.
As in that salt and sodium, it's a natural preservative.
So oftentimes your phone's not on silent.
It's definitely not.
Oftentimes they use salt to preserve your food longer. So when he says the typical American diet, It's because it's super processed, so they throw a lot of salt at it to keep it longer.
And because it tastes good.
Now, if
that's why restaurants do
right, and because it tastes good. Now, if it's not super processed, you're not getting a lot of salt. Isn't bad, but you do want some healthy pink Himalayan.
No, you absolutely do.
Right.
So again, for
there's a balance.
That absolutely, because the salt that we're putting on our foods, unless you are going crazy, that's not going to be putting your sodium levels to excess amounts that you should be worried about. It's only because of the food system. So, 2 categories to think about with nutrition, whether you're consuming primarily processed foods or not. If you are, then you should be a little bit of aware of your sodium intake, and I would recommend not taking these electrolyte recommendations literally, because that would be a good example of someone who doesn't necessarily need to add in an electrolyte supplement that has more sodium. So then we also have to add in the exercise side of it. If you are an exerciser, if you're a sweater, it's really sweat that comes into it, right? It makes sense. We're talking about hydration, sweat. If you are a sweater and you move your body daily, you're in the group that are gonna benefit from the recommendations we're gonna give on electrolytes, and I want to go into a little bit of the science of it too after I break this down. But if you're not and you don't sweat that much, and maybe you go on a lot of walks and like you keep your body moving, but you're not a sweater, you're in that category where you might not need it. You might be getting enough from the food that you're eating.
Okay.
So 2 ways to look at it, right? Are you eating, what kind of foods are you eating? Are you eating processed foods? Do you move your body? Do you eat whole foods? Do you not move your body? Do you sweat or not? That's what I want people to think about. So the ideal person to take an electrolyte supplement, because this will go into what we're going to talk about, is either the person that is eating unprocessed diet, because they're not going to get that much sodium, or the person that is sweating a lot. Those are the people. So if you're in that category, electrolytes, this is going to be, everything we talk about after this is going to be so important. But it's what we just mentioned is so important for the people on the other side, because they should not be taking electrolytes or adding a salt or sodium in because they're getting so much. Dude, one example that I want to give, those healthy, like frozen packaged foods, right, we think about as healthy.
Yeah.
Bro, they have like 1,500 milligrams of sodium. Put it in perspective.
What do you mean, the healthy frozen packaged food?
Like,
give me an
the
example.
healthy meals,
I just want to make
Factor,
sure I'm on. Yes.
Like those ones, smart, like even the ones you get in the store.
Yeah.
Bro, they're low calorie, but they still have like anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of sodium. The average American should probably be having like 2,000 milligrams. So like it's crazy, dude. But now that we covered that, I want to jump into sodium, potassium, magnesium for that group of people that needs them. Does that breakdown make sense too?
Yeah, it made perfect sense. I texted you. I said, I think we got to touch on the misconception of salt.
And that's it.
And we did.
That was a very important piece.
That was a point I wanted to hammer home, because that was one that got me. Just because, like I said, we're scared of it. Me and Lauren were cooking one day, and she was like, "You can't put that much. Like, stop putting so much salt on it." And I'm like, and I wasn't even overloading. She's like, "It's super unhealthy." And I was like, yeah.
She's lucky I wasn't in the room.
I know. I didn't want to because I'm still.
It's hard.
I didn't want to sound like cocky. I was just like, I think you're wrong, but I think I need this salt.
But what's interesting is that some people saying that aren't wrong because of the lifestyle they're living. So, I think that it's such an important. But dude, it makes sense. It's one of those tough conversations, because it's not like the seed oils, right? The seed oil debate, it's very clear. It's a processed oil.
Yeah.
This is it does depend.
Yeah.
It does depend on who we're talking.
It's not one size fits all.
No. So, all right, let's jump into actual electrolytes: sodium, potassium, magnesium. Let me give a.
So when I take an electrolyte scoop, which I don't because I don't buy it, but if someone offers me an electrolyte scoop and I take it, it's hitting all three of those? Has all three of those? Or is it mostly not magnesium. Is it mostly potassium?
Sodium and potassium, and then a little bit of magnesium. So let me explain the electrolytes 101, and then this will even help you make it make sense.
Okay.
So the only reason I want to focus on sodium, potassium, and magnesium is because, like, you have chloride, all these are irrelevant. In our body, right? When this is so key for our hydration. Go all the way down to the cells, right? We learned in middle school biology, we are made up of cells. Every single cell is fluctuating three things. We're gonna keep it simple again: water, sodium, and potassium. Right? You remember that classic image of like water levels in biology? It was like you had two like little jars or boxes, and they had different water levels and then different particles in them, and like the one that had more water. You remember that classic?
I think
image?
I fell asleep that class.
I hope people know what I'm talking about. All that is just balancing out. So if sodium and water, they try to balance each other out. If you have more sodium in the cell, it's going to push more water into the cell to balance out the sodium and water levels. Vice versa. If there's more water outside, the sodium is going to go outside. Right? So there's this constant fluctuation. All right? So that's why when it comes to hydration, it's not just water. Because if you're someone in the category we just mentioned that needs electrolytes, and you're just constantly consuming water, well, you're going to oversaturate the cell with water, and then you're not going to have enough sodium for that balance. So you're not going to have enough sodium to be able to go into the cell to balance that cell and hydrate the cell. So you need this balance of sodium and water. Okay? I just want to emphasize that point to really show how these water and sodium relate. And then when it comes to sodium and potassium, when one goes in, one goes out. When 2 sodium go in, 1 potassium goes out. This is key when I talk about recommendations, because we'll go into the scoop thing. But general rule of thumb, water, sodium, and potassium are going in and out of the cell based on how much you're taking to hydrate the cell, aka hydrate the body. Right? Whether it's in the muscle, in your organs, in your wherever it is, that's what's going on. So that's why we got to figure out this balance of the two. I mentioned that 2-to-1 ratio with sodium and potassium. That actually aligns with the general recommendation. So if you take a scoop of electrolytes, usually if it's a good electrolyte brand.
Which you recommend?
I use BPN, Elements out there. There's so many salt brands out there. Another one's Relight is what it's called. It's usually going to be 2-to-1 sodium to potassium. So the BPN one is 500 milligrams of sodium, 250 milligrams of potassium.
1 scoop for the general is good?
No.
Gotcha.
No, this is way different. This is where it's going to get difficult because you got to figure out those levels, right? Because everyone's going to be consuming a different amount of water, right? So this is why I want to go through the cell thing. So this is how we got to think about it. How much water we're consuming, how much water we're excreting, sweating, right? How much sodium we're intaking in our foods through whatever diet you're having up. And then outside of those, you can figure out your supplementation.
It's tough.
It's very hard. But if you are a part of that group of people that we mentioned, you're eating clean foods and you're sweating, I would say general rule of thumb is you can get anywhere from 500 milligrams to 1,000 milligrams of sodium in addition to the foods that you're eating per day. So supplemental form. So that would be 1 or 2 scoops. If you're a highly endurance athlete or a heavy sweater, you could go a little bit more, but it's a feel thing.
Gotcha.
The most important part to that is going by feel. So like twitching.
Yeah. That would be a feeling.
Muscle twitches, cramps, spasms, headaches. Everyone, when they get a headache, what do?
Pop an Advil, baby.
Pop an Advil. No, you're just deficient in hydration of some sorts. You might be deficient in water because your sodium levels are too high from your diet, or you might be deficient in sodium because you're sodium deficient from your foods that you're eating, and then you drink a lot of water.
Or you're just a loser.
How? Where'd that come from? That was messed up. Where did that come from? Wait. Where the hell did that come from?
I don't know, man.
Wait, who's the loser? Which group?
I don't know, man.
Maybe you.
Yeah, I don't know.
So let me give an example. Someone who
I just totally threw you off.
no, because I want to give an example of this. Let's do the average person, right? The average person is, let's say, no, let's not do the average person. Let's just make a character up. Someone who is eating highly processed foods, but they're an endurance athlete, so they're sweating a lot. Right? This gets where it gets a little difficult. They need to. My recommendation to them, because they're getting a lot of sodium, would be to increase their water level intake way above the general recommendation, because they're getting a lot of sodium. Yes, they're sweating it out, so they need to replenish that water that they're sweating, but they also need to balance out the sodium levels from the food they're eating. Right? So I might not be putting this best way, but you got to think about how much water are you fluctuating, how much sodium are you fluctuating, so consuming and expelling, and then kind of balancing it out from there. That's why there's no recommendation for every single person, because our levels are so different. You're still on this losers thing.
No, I'm not. I don't know why I said that. That was like I think a Tourette's thing.
I don't know if that's, yeah.
Yeah, sure. No, I don't know why I said it. I felt it. I just said it.
Talk to me about that breakdown, because my last thing I want to do is confuse people more.
No, it's not confusing. You lost me about the.
I lost you on the cells.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest. You did. I was trying to picture it, and then you said, do you remember? And I didn't, and I felt stupid. I felt like a loser.
No, the takeaway from the cell thing was to understand that when it comes to hydration,
you were laying a foundation.
When it comes to hydration, it's water, sodium, and potassium that we got to think about, and the balance of them. The goal here is to help our body and balance our body's hydration. And in order to do that, we can balance it with different levels of water and sodium.
So I was trying to, just like all the listeners probably were when you were,
more sense?
Yeah, just like all the listeners were trying to do when you were describing it. I was trying to figure out what was working for me. So I was trying to figure out what my number is. I think I'm a 1 scoop guy, because you said generally speaking, 1 or 2 scoops for people who are active, not eating crazy processed foods. I think I fit in that realm. But I was trying to figure out, just like probably everyone else, where I sat.
Let's say this, for the average health person, right? Not perfect, still have some processed foods, go out to eat, but try during the week to eat as healthy as they can, clean foods. They sweat a lot, maybe exercise, let's say daily or every other day. My recommendation there would probably be 1 scoop.
Nice.
Right? 500 milligrams of sodium.
I think I checked that
I
box.
think that's better, yeah. 250 milligrams of potassium. And then another way to do it, too, is you don't have to go supplement form. Literally, you can just go and get salt. And you can measure it out. Like a quarter of a teaspoon, I think, is like 500 milligrams of sodium. Now you're only getting sodium there. So you also want to get potassium, too. You can get that through fruit. You can get that through bananas, dates, all those, coconut water. So what you're not going to find in a lot of electrolyte supplements is going to be magnesium. You're going to find a very little bit amount. Magnesium you want to get an additional supplement for. So again, another reason I mentioned the cells is because now I can explain magnesium. Magnesium is
which we've touched on. But baseline.
Baseline. It's what allows sodium and potassium to fluctuate. So it's like a channel. Magnesium allows that channel to open. Right? If you're deficient in magnesium, that channel is not going to be efficient.
Gotcha.
If you're efficient in magnesium, it's going to be efficient. So magnesium is important for physical and mental relaxation.
Yeah, well, so why do I correlate magnesium with relaxation? Is because if what it actually does is the channel between the two, is your body just operating efficiently so it relaxes?
Because it hydrates the body.
Gotcha.
Right? So now that water, that sodium,
or it allows
that
the
potassium,
body to hydrate.
It can do what it's supposed to do because you have regular levels of magnesium. So you have that fluctuation in and out of the cell, a healthy fluctuation of the two. So once you buy the electrolytes, now that you're getting a really good amount of water, a good amount of electrolytes for your activity, for your nutrition, then you get magnesium, everything's going to be running its course. Not to say if you're not supplementing magnesium and you're doing those, it's not like you're still getting magnesium from the foods that you eat. This will just optimize the hell out of it. So those are the big three. Dude.
I'm thinking of like a tube, stuff passing through, and you take magnesium, and that tube just gets a little bit bigger.
It's literally like a channel that opens like a gate, like literally opens up and closes.
I just like when you describe things. I try to, cause you're sciencey, but you lay a good picture. I try to see the visual.
All right, you like my analogies is what you like.
That's what I like.
Let me give you an analogy.
Hit me.
So, there's a magnesium analogy.
Okay.
You got a tunnel. There's a bridge going over it.
Hold on.
It's not that big.
Okay.
Right? So
Set the scene.
It's a little guy, a little tunnel.
Nice day.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Beautiful day. Every day's beautiful.
Right.
Little tunnel with a little bridge going over it. Probably about yay big.
Some people would ask, if there's a tunnel, why do you need the bridge? But let's pass that. But I'm visualizing it. Go ahead.
It's
because they're going opposite ways.
It's grass.
Right. Oh, okay. Gotcha.
They have no idea we're in here.
No. They have no idea what the masterpiece that's going on.
You have a tunnel with something over top.
Gotcha.
That tunnel's closed. You can't get through.
The tunnel's closed?
They blocked it off.
Okay.
You know why?
Magnesium.
You don't have enough magnesium.
Lack of it.
So the road
or
closed
it's down
signs,
to one lane.
The road closed signs. That's a good one. That's a good one. It's down to one lane.
We got construction.
So you got the guys flipping over the stopping.
Yep.
Bro, they do not want to be there. Never. Because they're just flipping a sign. I always say thank you to them, by the way.
But yeah, you have to. And they're probably listening to the pod because most people are.
Everyone is.
They're getting that union.
We have video on Spotify. How could they not be?
That's what I'm saying. Go check it out.
Check it out. We got one lane in this tunnel. Right? You can't go over the tunnel. You can't go around the tunnel. You got to go through it. Right? But we only got one lane because you're deficient in magnesium. Right? So those guys with the stop sign, those are the... this is actually so perfect.
I know. I'm like...
The guys with the stop sign, those are where magnesium attaches to.
Gotcha.
Right? And they control the signs. So if you give that guy magnesium, he's going to get out of there. He's good. Freedom.
Free flowing.
Get him out of there.
Both lanes are open.
He's going to open up the lanes.
Right.
If you give him magnesium. When you don't have magnesium,
he's
not moving.
We're trickling through.
You're not giving him money.
Right.
You got to give him money.
He needs that union rate, baby.
He needs the money.
Yeah.
If you're not giving money, he's going to stay there because you got to make money.
Hell yeah.
So he's going to keep it to one lane.
Scared money don't make money.
Cars are going to still be passing through at one lane, but so inefficiently.
Road rage.
Road rage. Pissed, dude.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Dehydration.
Correct.
Give him money.
Right.
Give him magnesium.
Love your body.
Money mag.
I'm seeing it.
I actually really do like this analogy.
I know.
I'm going to actually use it.
You should. You did.
Yo, so like, seriously, like those guys are the control. Magnesium is the controller of the traffic. If you're deficient in it, you literally got to go to one lane. You're going to be able to, you're still going to fluctuate sodium and potassium, but very inefficiently. Give him magnesium, get that guy out of there, open two lanes. We're flowing, baby. We got hydration out the wazoo.
Hell yeah. I can get riled up on that. I would like to go back to where we started. That you describing the bridge over top, meaningless. We didn't use the bridge at all.
You do because you can't go over it. People are going to try to go over it or around it. They're going to try to go around their electrolytes like you do.
Right.
Right?
Didn't need to throw me. You did not.
You still haven't gone through the tunnel because there's no way to go over and there's no way to go around it. So you're stuck on the other side.
Are you talking like when
directly
you say
to you?
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
I'm doing it. You're stuck.
I'm uncomfortable.
Not only are you not getting through the single lane traffic, they stopped you. They said pull over to the side. You're not going anywhere.
Does Mano Wellness have HR?
Soon.
I'm uncomfortable. Which we didn't shout out our sponsor.
That's the tough part about the back-to-back.
I know.
ManoWellness.co.
ManoWellness.co.
So, yeah, you're not through
I know,
the tunnel.
you know,
There's an
we
important
can-
part of
we're
the
past
roof
me.
of the tunnel.
This is more of like a team game.
But you came at me for the tunnel, and the tunnel is important. Can't go around
No, I
it.
came at you for the bridge.
Right.
You don't even listen when I talk.
Get electrolytes.
You don't even
Oh,
listen.
I don't listen.
You don't listen.
I don't listen.
Are we arguing?
We could be. First one.
I think we need a break.
What other questions around electrolytes?
Nothing. I need to take them.
So let's
I
take
mean,
what?
for the 9th time. Take electrolytes. Well,
If-
that's not true. Monitor your salt intake. If you're not doing processed foods, if you're drinking the appropriate amount of water, and you're taking magnesium so that guy is not so miserable with the sign.
Let him off work, man.
Correct. The OT, but he's getting that OT. They like that OT, but your body doesn't like that OT. I'm lost in the sauce now, but get the magnesium.
I don't think he's getting OT. That's just his regular day. We're just giving,
That's why
when
he's
we
pissed.
give him magnesium,
He
we're
wants
giving
time and a
freedom.
half. Correct. So,
He's getting OT when he's deficient.
correct.
He doesn't want to. If you're in a union, you don't want OT.
Yeah, you do.
Do you?
Yeah, you do.
Can we just say no?
No, but for
the
this
sake
pod,
of
you
the
don't.
example.
Right. Correct.
Jargon me.
Just work. Just stick with me here. Stay with me now. Stay with me now. I should be taking a scoop, but that's because I've done the past where I know how much. Well, I should be drinking more water. I should be taking a scoop on top of it, and I should be taking magnesium. I check 0 hydration boxes. 0. And for that, you know what I get? Eye twitches.
And
I get
you-
eye twitches. I get muscle cramps. I get sad boy.
But it's the exciting part about it because you have a huge missing piece in your health. Bro, it's going to change it, dude. It's going to change you. Sleep, recovery, your workouts, your performance on the pod. Because your cognitive function, you're just be firing away.
My performance everywhere will increase.
Everywhere.
Wink, wink.
We don't need that. We don't need that. But you got to hydrate for this. All right. Does that cover like kind of the basics? I want the listener, aka Lauren, because she was key on this episode. I was very excited to jump into it for her. So shout out. You think Lauren got a good takeaway? You think Lauren knows what to
Not
do?
my Lauren.
No. Sorry.
Lorne. Lorn. Lorne.
Is that
That's what she calls herself.
really? So for Lauren,
Yeah.
what do you think?
I think she got what she needed.
Cool. All right, that's a wrap.
Yeah.
Anything else you got to finish it?
Now I'm just excited to attack the week.
What are you gonna do right after I click that stop recording button?
Go get sourdough.
No.
Yeah. Yes, I am. No, I am.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, I'm gonna take a piss. I'm sorry. I'm gonna use the bathroom. And what has been
Taking a piss.
I don't know. I'm trying to be classy. I said water. They know I'm scum. I'm trying to classy.
If you're
up.
from London, you
But-
say taking a whiz.
Right. But I'm wearing a collar, so I'm trying to be a little bit more classy
I think you can be unclassy because you look classy.
because I look classy. So here's what I'm gonna do. You asked what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use the bathroom. I'm gonna get a piece of sourdough, and what has absolutely been a game changer is this peanut butter salt combo. The salted peanut butter.
You're missing a key ingredient.
Love.
That I added to it. Well, yeah.
No, okay. The everything bagel. First off, if we have a minute, I would just like to express my love for everything bagel.
Ah, damn it.
Have you ever seen?
I thought you were gonna say for my sourdough.
Well, and your sourdough. Have you ever seen? This is where I'm gonna leave it, just to set the scene. Have you ever seen Ratatouille?
Bro, one of my favorite movies.
Great. It's amazing. Maybe it's a top tier Disney movie. You can argue with me on it all you want. You know when he eats the ratatouille and you get that flashback to when he was a child?
Yeah.
When I have everything bagel, I get that flashback to summer camps in the morning with my mom. Love her.
The best.
The best. I'm 8 years old. We're in the Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru. She orders me an everything bagel toasted with butter and a coffee colada. And that 8-year-old kid had the best day of his life just because mom set the tone. So when I have your everything bagel sourdough, I think his name's Ego. I'm Ego from Ratatouille. I see the happiness. I got Billy Joel on the radio. I got 80s on 8 Sirius XM. My mom has her coffee extra cream, and I got my everything bagel with my coffee colada. And the boys are going to summer camp, and we're having a fucking day.
And you know what? You're about to run around, so you're getting the salt from the everything bagel seasoning.
I did not think about that for a second when I was there.
What's a colada?
You'd be very
Is that a really bad question?
Yeah, you'd be very unhappy with me.
But what is it?
It's like a
it's from Dunkin'. So
from Dunkin'. It's a coffee. It was. I don't know if they still have them. It was a coffee colada, so it was basically like a coffee milkshake.
Stop.
In the morning.
Wait, so like a Starbucks like Frappuccino?
But better.
So it was a milkshake with a dash of coffee.
It was
Splash.
Exactly. It had the syrups, dynamite. No whipped cream or anything, but you were basically drinking like a 500-calorie morning.
Doesn't matter when you're going to summer camp.
Just a chef's kiss.
Doesn't matter when you're going to summer camp.
I was dominating kids out on that pavement. Fired up. Let's attack the week. Let's have a good week.
Let's have a good week. We're gonna start 2 new segments on the YouTube page, so go check it out on YouTube. If you're watching on Spotify, because you can watch now, check out our YouTube now. We post a podcast on YouTube. We got a few other segments that are gonna come. We got 2 segments coming.
We had a winner. We should have mentioned it last episode. We had a winner to the raffle.
Oh, we totally forgot to mention it last episode.
Yeah, we had a winner to the raffle.
Mention it now. It covers us.
Madison Pfeiffer. Do you know her?
I've heard of the name.
She won the raffle, so we'll get in touch with her. Instagram.
Our pod's kind of too big now, so like I kind of forget the names.
Yeah, Madison, I think her name is.
Yeah. We can look it up later.
We'll find her. She's a nobody. That was such a joke.
That was
She's gonna be so mad at that.
That was messed up.
I'm kidding. All right,
hell yeah.
She's more than a somebody.
Check out the YouTube channel for some fun segments that we're gonna do, and then we will see you guys. This was episode. I never even mentioned the episode numbers in the beginning. It's kind of crazy. Last one was 16. This is 17. No,
I don't know. You said I don't know.
We're getting close to 20. That's all that matters. Appreciate everyone listening, tuning in. Go hydrate. Water, electrolytes, sodium, potassium, magnesium. Peace.